Yo. The truth is still out there. This is the law. This is the law.
Well, it is about that time. It's another Wayans Brothers combat sports show with me, TID, and of course, little Brady Wedham. And this time we're going to be talking about the upcoming UFC Fight Night. Not even, listen, we're out of the numbered stuff. Paramount made their debut, right? We're into the names. We're into the names events now, but more importantly, Sean Strickland, Anthony Hernandez. Now we're going to see if Sean Strickland really is a star or not, as far as I'm concerned. Let's find out with Brady. Brady, how you doing, brother?
Sean Strickland is a star, my friend.
Okay.
But he's a star on top of the Ku Klux Klan Christmas tree.
Well, he's a star to most. Yeah, there's that contingency that he resonates with. There's no doubt about it. But, okay. Is Sean Strickland going to be a big enough star? Does this kind of fight night put him back into pay-per-view contention?
You would think so, because he's a good draw for them. And that's what they're going, like, it's a mix of rankings and draw at this point. Yes, the rankings do matter, but they don't matter as much as the drawing power does, right? So if Sean gets a win, yep, they've got to put Sean back on a poster. He does draw, and not just from the neo-Nazi crowd, but he does just draw, period. Sean's an interesting guy. Like, he is the beginning of the downfall for Izzy, in my opinion. That press conference leading up before that fight was really where Izzy broke. It seemed like, calling him the Chinaman and saying you put out videos of you playing with dogs in a really weird way. Just all that kind of stuff kind of broke Izzy. Even Manel Camp got up and called Izzy on, and he's like, keep watching anime porn and all this stuff, right? So Izzy broke there. You got one of those in the first round. So the first round of Sean Strickland versus Izzy, you heard in the background, and Sean just stayed on him, and Izzy really hasn't been the same since. So yeah, Sean Strickland's a star. He's got talent to the point where he's making champions look like idiots. So
okay, so you talk about that. You talk about the shit talking that he did with Izzy and how it got into his head, obviously, you think. So his opponent coming up is Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy, right? Yeah. The other Fluffy, not the comedian Fluffy, but this Fluffy. We like all things fluffy here on the Wayans Bros. Is he going to, is Sean Strickland like Fluffy Buds? Is Sean Strickland going to be able to get into the head of Anthony Hernandez? Let's think about this with this kind of day and age, with what the atmosphere is, how hot the streets are right now, right? And I mean, Anthony Hernandez is a guy who, from El Dorado Hills, California, Latino heritage. Is Sean Strickland going to start throwing out ice comments about this?
Yes.
Wow.
That's okay. Half of the selling, half the trailer leading into this fight is going to be Sean just saying, "Oh, I'm going to get ice outside, and they're going to be waiting for you after I kill you in there." Yeah.
Well, he did make the comments because he went online saying, "Gee, I hope everything's okay," something to this effect of, because remember, I think Fluffy went missing for a bit. He went on an excursion or something like that. He disappeared off of the grid. God. So, I mean, Anthony Hernandez was missing. So Sean Strickland jumped all over it.
Speaking of missing.
What?
Yeah, speaking of missing. I feel like, because most of our plays come in from either YouTube or Spotify, that there's been a rule this week. We're supposed to talk about the UFC and fighting and combat sports here on the Law Channel and pro wrestling, especially when we're doing the Wayans Brothers, but I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear that music playing, right?
Yeah, why is that playing, dude?
Well, the truth is still out here.
Oh, no.
It is here and it is there.
What truth?
It is everywhere. I am talking about the...
Ron Killings?
No, I'm talking about the actual rule of this week on Spotify and YouTube. You have to talk about the Epstein Files.
What was that?
That was a trap door to the ocean.
Oh, so we're gonna... Okay, really? Really? This is...
Yeah.
We're gonna... Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
taking over.
We're
I'm taking
tying
over.
in-
No more
we're
fights.
Tying in the fights.
No,
coming
there's
up.
no more fights anymore.
Okay. All right.
We'll
And you
do
wanna
we'll
talk-
do that next week.
All right. Well, okay. Get it off your chest, kid.
I'm gonna
Let's
get it
go.
off my chest.
Let's go. I mean, I'm sure that was a statement that was probably heard off the island a couple of times. Get it off your chest, kid.
You know what else was heard?
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Are you?
Well, they knew exactly who those people were. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Listen.
well, this pervert is definitely been outed, and a whole bunch of other perverts. I know that you kind of have an opinion on it. We were talking about it. It did pull the curtain back for a second, just for our listeners.
All right.
We were about to record this show, and we got talking on the phone of what we were going to discuss during this, and it just turned into another Epstein talk. And it's because that's what's out in the open. Now, are we being distracted, and this is just a technique, and we're talking about it to the point where we even just hijacked our own show? Or is this just so blatantly crazy and disgusting that there's nothing else that we should be talking about?
You know what the worst part about all of this is? At the end of the day, Brady, is that there's people out there that when they said, "Hey, we've got these files and we're going to release these files," there's people out there in the world that still slept like babies.
Mm-hmm.
They still got a good night's sleep, like whatever. That doesn't matter. Knowing that they were in these files.
Everybody's
That's
in
how
these
disgusting
fucking
this-
files. man.
That's how disgusting this whole thing is. if you
How
ask
the fucking a guy like Steve Bannon be in the news and doing interviews and talking about, he's like, yeah, you know, Jeffrey, he was a bad guy and all this shit, while he's simultaneously filming a documentary about trying to clear his name and making it look good and cutting it the best. If he can cut it up and edit it really well, that it'll make Jeffrey come out on top. While he's like being investigated again for being a fucking just the absolute worst kind of person.
And I think here's the thing, in my belief. I think that there's too much focus being put onto Trump with all.
Oh, 100%.
I think that is just a red herring. That's a look over here, right? Because the name is out there. But there's a lot more influential human beings that are on this list.
100.
And why
There's
haven't
co-conspirators.
why haven't they even been arrested yet?
Yeah, then there's people that you could blatantly just arrest. Like, that's not even the people's names that are redacted. And screw them for redacting people's names that are co-conspirators to protect them. This has nothing to do with victims. This has nothing to do... If they cared about protecting victims, they would have actually redacted all of the pictures that they forgot to redact. So if you're listening to this and you think that it's a good idea to go download the 3 million files to your computer, please don't. Because if you do, you now have CP on your device that you never intended to have directly from the FBI.
Well, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised that some of those redacted pictures with the blackout marks don't have something a little bit more sinister hidden inside of those blackout
Oh, that's
marks.
probably horrible.
It's tracking stuff. It's crazy stuff. But here's
But Donald Trump, you're right. Like when they focus on Donald Trump and
Yeah.
Elon Musk, and this is mainstream media, like Fox and CNN and all of them combined, they're all painting a picture and a timeline of something that is fucking stupid. Like like you said, there's important people here that are in this triangle that aren't just compromised and blackmailed just for being dirtbags, which there's a lot of people that are, but there's people that are like co-conspirators that are helping move these gals around, help making bodies disappear, help eating, adrenochrome filled babies if you believe some of the chaos. And while I say some of the chaos, I think some of this is bullshit. Obviously, right? In these files. These are witness testimonies from people from all around the world. We'll go on the side of the street, in a busy street, and listen to everybody that's walking by. Somebody's going to say some crazy ass shit. Right? So I don't think all of it's real, but if let's just say it is, holy crap, this world is darker than we ever even thought. Like, me and you are saints. We always joke about us going to hell for making jokes about, the weird shit.
Yeah. I do is say words.
Exactly.
All I do is say words. There at no time in any Marvel universe whatsoever, none of them will have a timeline of me partaking in the kind of debaucherous shit that went on this island.
Oh, even the
First of all,
even Comet Pizza.
I'm not wealthy enough. I don't play in those circles. I'm never going to be even looked at, thankfully. Right? So you have to ask yourself, there's clearly an elite league of human being that this is only opened up to.
Yeah, Luciferians. But and it's not Satanists, it's Luciferians.
Why can't poor people be Luciferians?
Because if they were, anybody who's considered, I guess, blue collar or below that tries to become a Luciferian without some sort of tie to it, you would just end up in jail. Right? Like, because it's a self-serving belief system that basically says nobody matters, you can do anything you can to get ahead and have as much power and control as possible. So to do those kind of things, being a poor person or blue collar or below, let's just say middle class or below, that's not realistic, right? Like, you have a better chance of winning on a scratch ticket and paying off the rest of your mortgage on your home than you would going up that far up that ladder. In my belief system, anyway. I don't think I even really understand what's going on. And I think that's why some of this shit makes probably more sense to other people than it does to me. I just can't see a world where there's a yacht where powerful politicians, because politicians aren't powerful, they're just fucking psychos, right? But these people who make these laws and all this stuff are sitting on a boat somewhere eating a baby.
So, okay.
It just, my brain is so...
Let me break it down.
Fucked with that one.
Let's break it down. You've been a person who's had a ducat or two in your pocket, right? You've tasted some wealth in your life.
No, I've never tasted some wealth. I've had a couple bucks to spend.
Sure.
Which should have been saved, not spent.
That's a different show.
Completely different show. That's called financial failure and bankruptcy.
But we've always said, and everybody always makes the jokes, oh, if I was rich, I would. Oh, if I was rich, I would. And I've always said the joke many, many times to you, to our friends, and everything. If I was rich, I would fuck with you guys hard. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? I would do things that are just like prank stuff, because I could afford to do that. And it was just like disposable income. So at some point, that stuff's got to get boring. And now you're like, wow, I have these like fantasy things in my head. Now I can play these things out. And it starts off with just like, oh, I'm going to get a hooker and some blow. Right?
Oh my God.
But then I didn't get caught doing that. I can try this. And next thing you know, that kind of goes unilaterally with your wealth.
Yeah.
And then eventually you start getting invited to some of these parties, and you're talking about like, well, you're just having innocuous conversations with these people at these parties. You're not always talking business and expansions and whatever. You're talking about what you did on the weekend with the family, where you went on your last Christmas trip, what you did on your last vacation. Hey, are you going to so-and-so's convention? Right. And you start talking this way to one another to the point where eventually you're like, you feel open to a friend. Now this is your buddy. Right. And so you start opening up about, hey, wow, have you ever thought about boom? And you find out that this person is like-minded as well, because you're like-minded on so many other things that you found out because this person's your friend. And they introduce you to your buddy Jeffrey all of a sudden, who's got this wild party island.
Yep.
You go there and Jeffrey's got all these other people, and you're like, well, I want to meet these influential people. And he throws these parties with all of these influential people. And you go there and you're like, oh, and now all of a sudden there's pictures being taken, but don't worry. You know, you don't know nothing about the pictures, but don't worry. This is a safe space. This is a safe space for you people. You can do whatever you want here. No problems, right? You got to know at that point you're about to get blackmailed. No,
No, yeah.
unless you are the absolute worst type of human whatsoever, you know that you have to know you've just walked into the most devious trap ever, right?
Yep.
Well, then, if that's not the case, and all of these people still slept peacefully and didn't come out of that going, you know what? Oh, that was a bad mistake, and I should never do that again. No, these people are on this list multiple times, in these files multiple times. So they liked it. They're sick, disgusting human beings.
Well, and here's some of the big
right now. Every one of them should be arrested right this second, and let the chips fall where they may. If we're doing mass raids on immigration stuff, or we do mass raids in any kind of inner city on gangs, or we do mass raids on, suspected terror cell organizations, you can do the mass raids on this stuff. You know where these people live. You know where they're going to be. Absolutely. Hey, guess what? 90% of them are probably going to be inside of those, presidential and congressional buildings. So go pick them up.
Yeah, well, they know. Okay, so just a couple of the names. Let's just say you believe everything that the chat Tiny Hat GTP is saying, and it'll say the biggest names reported in these new Epstein files. The number one person, take a guess who's at the top of the list to them, ChatGTP, who's considered the worst person on this list.
Steve Bannon.
Nope, Donald Trump.
Oh, well, okay.
With his close second, Bill Clinton.
Is that a coincidence?
Look, I never seen pictures of jacuzzis of Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And like all this, like there's some weird shit. There's no Donald Trump in a dress found in this guy's garage somewhere. Like Bill Clinton is predominant in these files. Not only just with Jeffrey and how many times he flew there, 27, I believe is the number, to that island specifically. But he had him there. Those two were fucking like me and you. You know what I mean? Palling along.
Well, no, there, nothing.
Whoa.
Pause on that. But wasn't there also another picture at his place that isn't talked about as much?
The George Bush one?
The George Bush one.
That's a good one.
Right?
That was my wallpaper for a year.
Towers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, it was a wallpaper on my...
Not just the Clinton thing. The Clinton thing seems very obvious because Clinton has already come out and said, yeah, I'm a horn dog. I like to get laid. And I like younger girls.
It's not just that, though, like getting laid. Right? This is like, hey, let's choke out children.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that like the character of him it's already come out that yes, he is a debaucherous human being.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Right?
He got busted for rape. He's been an alleged murderer.
So did Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump's the current leader, he's the most powerful man in the world right now.
So those are the two, the most powerful. The third is Prince Andrew, which everyone knows about that.
He's no longer.
Mountbatten Windsor. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Steve Bannon, yes, as you were saying. Elon Musk.
My boy Steve, top 5. All right.
Elon Musk, which I'm not defending Elon. I think he's a fucking creep too. But him sending an email on Christmas morning at 6 a.m. while his kids are getting ready to come downstairs and open gifts, all 1,500 of them, with the weirdest names in the world, PBJ and KY Jelly and Static Cling and all these other fucking weird names he's got for them.
This happened.
Yeah. So he sends an email saying, hey, can I come party? And they reject him. That doesn't make him a predominant figure in the figure in the files. It just makes him a goof that they turned down. So Bill Gates, obviously getting Russian STDs and apparently and allegedly spreading them to his wife and trying to get he's trying to get ivermectin from these guys where his wife can't figure it out or doesn't taste it in her food, so he can slip it to her so he can get rid of the STD that he gave her that she hasn't figured out that she has yet.
Wild.
This is fucking the best shit ever. Okay, so then Steve Tisch, the NFL owner, and I know you know a little bit about Steve Tisch.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He's had a lot of emails back and forth being a pig with Epstein.
yeah.
Talking about gals and sharing pictures that we can't see because they're obviously just images, but not the actual file. But
Well, I mean, listen, maybe this has something to do with why the New York Giants are in the state that they're in.
yeah, the priorities are out of whack.
Maybe Steve Tisch didn't get so many restful sleep nights. Well, I don't think it was a dog that was getting dick diggitied by Steve.
So Howard Lutnick, that was a U.S. Commerce Secretary, basically had a bunch of emails going back and forth about, hanging out with Jeffrey and all that shit.
Sure.
Kathy Rumier, which is a former White House counsel, Goldman Sachs, shows up and corresponds with Epstein. Anil Ambani, he's a political, I guess, lobbyist. Okay. Vladimir Putin. So his name appears 1,000 times in these emails and associated records. But a lot of these are like, you can search your name and then we come up if somebody's like, oh, this Chris Tidwell guy started the law back in 1996. Well, guess what? Now you're in the fucking files.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jay Okerson's in the files.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, Jon Stewart. Lots of J's. Is that lots of J's? You know what else starts with J?
Jeffrey.
Nope.
Jesus.
Schmeckel.
I don't know how you spell Schmeckel. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well,
here's my question to you, Brady. Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein was more important in all of this than Miss Ghislaine Maxwell?
I think this is Ghislaine's father's original operation. Robert Maxwell, I'll try and keep this as short as possible. Stole a pension fund, bought a media company, used that media company to either blackmail or manipulate propaganda as much as he could in the UK. Became a billionaire, mysteriously was caught doing a whole bunch of shit, and then died off the side of his yacht in a swimming accident. Apparently.
Ooh, like Natalie Wood?
And then his daughter carried that legacy on. And our buddy that I work with, we did a show on this in more of a serious format about talking just about some of the stuff that was released. And he has a theory that Ghislaine was always just chasing the princess dream. Like they could manipulate and get her to do anything and be a part of anything because anytime she was getting low on money, they'd throw her another billion, right, to kind of keep her complacent. So not so much making her an innocent person or Stockholm syndrome, but just saying, hey, she's so easy to get at with cash. We could just increase this and make this crazier and crazier and crazier. She'll go along with it. And one of the things that is mentioned in some of these diaries and witness testimonies that have come out from some of these girls in these trauma diaries that they've wrote is that Ghislaine was always the person they were going to go to try and get help from Jeffrey and his buddies. So they would write things like, I just wish Ghislaine was here. This would never happen if she was here. So they almost looked at her as like a motherly figure, it sounds like, some of these victims, which is just as fucking bad, too, if you think about it with it. Like Norm Macdonald said, that the worst part about that is not the rape and the torture. It's the hypocrisy.
Remember
right? The hypocrisy.
Remember how everybody thought that Karla Homolka was an innocent bystander?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things between her and Paul Bernardo, and found out later that, oops, maybe we shouldn't have made that deal.
Yeah, look at the image for this show right now, and you'll see the same eyes as Karla Homolka in both of those two idiots on our poster.
Do you think that that deal should not have been made with old Jizzy there?
No, it's a horror. Okay. Oh, getting me going. You're getting me going on the side now. You're getting me going. Okay, so here's what I think about her. Yeah, she went. Okay, the person who sat down with her and got her testimony recently was Donald Trump's personal lawyer. He sent there. And we haven't even seen who the fuck, like, why, okay, tell me why he's the guy that goes and not a whole bunch of, a group of people from the FBI or whoever is doing this investigation. At this point, I don't believe the DOJ or the FBI, but at least send a group, sit down with her, get the testimony. If she's not giving you anything that you were trying to get, and she stays where she is. If she does give you something that you're trying to get, she stays where she is. She got 20 years, which was a light sentence to begin with. The fact that she could even go for parole or try and get out in 20 years is fucking insane. This woman, and at that time they were painting everything on her, being the only co-conspirator, the only person involved with any of this stuff with Jeffrey. This is way before Files, and she still got light. So now that she's living in a facility where she can kind of come and go as she pleases in this little apartment-style jail cell that she's living in, and she's got a dog, and she can take pictures, and she's got communication with the outside world and things like that. Even the Justice Department and the Senate is like, what the fuck is going on in the United States? They're saying who made this call for that? And there's no other answer but the administration. So Donald Trump and his administration, who are currently in the White House, that's where they say they're always giving Biden and these people shit, the Democrat shit, and maybe you should. You should give them all shit because they're all just part of the pro wrestling show. But they had her locked up and never gave her any special treatment. And then the second they started talking about releasing files, that's when there's meetings done and Ghislaine is put on, no leash now, like the dog that she should be put on a leash, but she's out there running amok.
Can you ask yourself that maybe
and Jeffrey's alive. He's not dead.
Maybe because the Epstein files aren't as big as the Maxwell files?
They're all, I would call them all the files.
Do you think because you have to ask yourself if these people haven't been arrested yet?
They're not going to be.
Is it because a lot of these people have stuff on other people that aren't listed in these files, but are listed in other files?
Yeah, the same way, like allegedly there's, and whoever's listening to this, if this sparks your curiosity, go and look it up. We know, and it's a complete sidebar, but we know of a Canadian general, like Canada and the military knows of a Canadian general that stole millions of dollars out of $1 billion blind foundation in a part of the world that we were stationed in for a very long time. I'm not going to out it, but that stole the money and took off, and they've never arrested them, which shows you that
he started dollar stores.
But
it was called the Dollar General.
It does. Oh, really? Really?
Oh. All right. So you said something earlier very quick because we're
and nobody's held accountable. I got to finish that thought though, just because I don't want to sound like an idiot. And no one is ever held accountable. It doesn't matter if it's in the military, if it's in politics. The second you get into a government situation, it's like the Catholic Church. They spend most of their time cleaning shit up.
Is Jeffrey Epstein still alive?
Yes.
Where?
I don't believe any of the pictures that have recently come out about him with a beard and all this stuff surrounded by Mossad agents. I don't even think I think he was an element of the Mossad thing, but I also think he was just as much an element of every other country that has some sort of spies and CIA and CSIS and all this. I think that he was a part of every program that he possibly could be. He was definitely at the top of the list of some of the most important people in the world. He wasn't just a predator. He used a lot of that. He used a lot of his own disgusting ventures to blackmail other people and knew that he could get to them because if he was into that shit, there's a good chance that other people would be too. I think there's people that have been compromised because they were under the influence of something they may have not even known on both sides, the victim and the predator side, and you get video from that. I think he's alive. I think he just there's a testimony from the prison guard that worked on that unit, and said that Jeffrey was taken out the night before. So if you believe that, which sounds a lot more realistic, when you hear that Jeffrey's brother, the day after TMZ released the pictures of his body, said, "That's not my brother," you start piecing this shit together, and you understand more, like, with that term of you'll be sleeping in the bottom of the sea with the fishes, where that comes from.
Okay.
But Jeff's alive. I think
okay.
there's too many people that would go down if he died.
I think that going back to his island is a little much. Tell me very quickly in 20 words or less what you know about him hanging out in Patagonia.
I only had one word.
That's a different show altogether about what's going on in Patagonia and Argentina and South America.
Yep.
And why there's a shift down there. But anyways, listen, we could go on about this crazy shit forever.
It's nuts. Do your own research, though.
You want to know what's even crazier? What's even crazier? They
What?
think that there's going to be fights at the fucking White House still.
I know. And there's going to be a whole bunch of those people on the list sitting front row cheering it on and manipulating all of your bets on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Bet365. So keep your money that night.
Well, they do say there is a thing going out right now that I think it's like bet $5 and get like up to $300 in bonus bets. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You can pull it out, blah, 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 blah. All of this stuff on these advertisements that they do, followed up very quickly with bet responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to do. Well, listen, there's only a couple of things that are surefire things as far as we know here on the Wayans Brothers and the What's a Word Combat Sports Entertainment stuff with the Law, live audio wrestling, Divisa boxing. Holy smokes. What else have we got? We've got good times. We've got all kinds of stuff. And we all know this.
Come to the children. Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
That's pretty much it.
Well, the other thing, too, is if you get 3 King Tuts, you get 15 spins on Cleopatra.
I hate you so much.
I love you too, boo boo boo.